Fresh outrage over the Obama administration's decision to hold 9/11 terror trials in New York City. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani is among the GOP politicians leading the charge.
First of all, it's an unnecessary advantage to give to the terrorists. I don't know why you want to give terrorists advantages. And secondly, it's an unnecessary risk to the city of New York, which already has any number of risks. If it was necessary, if this were the only option, well, of course I'd be in favor of it. It's part of Barack Obama deciding that we're not at war with terrorism any longer.
Joining me now is Miami Police Chief John Timony, who also served as the NYPD Deputy Commissioner, was with the NYPD for many decades. It's good to see you today, John. Let me ask, what's your take on this, holding trials in New York City?
Well, you know, those are legal and political decisions of which I'll have no opinion. However, clearly there will be an increase in the target, in New York City being a target. Clearly, it is the #1 target in the world. It's been struck twice. Fortunately, though, Ray Kelly, who over the last 8 years has put together the premier anti-terrorism program, not just in the nation, in the world. And so I think New York City is in good hands. Nonetheless, this is going to be a huge strain on the NYPD, and I think there's an obligation on the federal government to assist in the resources because, you know, Commissioner Kelly will have to spend, I mean, hundreds, if not thousands of hours in overtime and a whole host of other things. So I think the federal government bears some of the burden on those resources.
That would be true in any high-profile case. I mean, if you looked at the amount of police presence during the Madoff trial, it was intense. Yeah. So do you think that bringing the terrorists, the alleged terrorists, here to New York City, does it increase the risk to the city? I mean, as you said, it's already a high terror target. Having the trials here, does it change it?
I think, no, I do. I think it brings it up another notch, clearly, for a whole variety of reasons. Not just from an al-Qaeda organized attack, if you will, but for some whack job, lone wolf, if you will, trying to make a statement, trying to get his 15 minutes of fame. And so there are all sorts of intangibles that factor into it. What I'm telling you is that there is no other police department in America or in the world that's more equipped and ready to handle such a challenge. Nonetheless, this challenge is going to be a huge drain on resources. And while Madoff, you know, may have had gawkers and curious onlookers, there was no real threat there. There's a security threat involved in doing the trial in New York City. And I think there is an obligation on the part of the federal government, DOJ, to chip in and help out Commissioner Kelly.
In your opinion, as the police chief there in Miami, would another major American city be a better place to hold these kind of trials? Would Miami, Chicago, Los Angeles, Seattle?
That's an interesting question. I think myself that there'll be attempts made to get a change of venue. But unfortunately, it'll have the reverse effect in that other cities are not as equipped as New York. They don't have the numbers of police officers to handle it. They don't have the experience to handle it, quite frankly. And so in a kind of a crazy way, New York has it, and it may be the only police department that can handle it.
John Timony, it's good of you to join us and share your perspective. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Contessa.
The shuttle Atlantis is scheduled to